This tribute to Johan was launched yesterday down at the Whitney Foundation. Most of you have already seen it and probably bought it. It's sale here. You can contact Maura. We can invoice you afterwards. Have a look. 36 contributors from all over the world have written pieces, some more personal than others, but all of them related to this issue of peace. Johan, thank you for spending these days with us. I'm looking forward to hearing you.
Well, thank you so much, dear John. Thank you. My Lord, it's I who should thank. This is absolutely overwhelming. Although I'll not conceal that they have been celebrated, or being celebrated in 12 countries, and this is number 9. Number 10 is Switzerland, number 11 is Cameroon, and number 12 is Germany. And each place has its theme, except Norway. Norway has 2. Peace journalism and Savona. Learning to handle conflict at school. That comes to mind. And the theme in Switzerland is deep culture and deep structure. The theme in Cameroon is development. And the theme in Germany is Weltinnenpolitik, global domestic policy. So these are among the trends and themes. And one of my messages is that I'm now turning 80. So from now on, get going yourself, and don't suppose that I'll be there pushing you anymore. Start working, eh? And the second thing is that don't count on me for lectures. Count on me for mediation. Count on me for writing. But writing's the engine. And one of the birthday gifts I just got was that one of my theatre pieces is now being performed next year in Germany. And you see, ambitious people like ambitious classes, and they like feedback, to put it that way. And now I have through with my introduction, and what comes now when the door is severely closed is introduction to peace journalism. I have 2 introductions.
Skal jeg skaffe mikrofonen, Johan?
Tradition is that I have strong opinions and a squeaky little mouse-like voice.
I'm just not getting it.
I do it already.
Yeah.
It's already speaking on that. There is no additional, I mean the knob is just to the right at the top position, but I can come closer. That means someone you won't see, but maybe you will. Okay, here we go. Under what conditions do events become news? The research was done in 1960, 1961, with Maria von Boruge as a very able assistant. And it was a study of Norwegian newspapers handling conflicts in Congo and Cuba. And it led to a lot of thinking. That study, the empirical part of it, I leave aside, it led to a lot of thinking about this process. And 12 factors were identified, out of which I'll only mention kinds of number 9, 10, 11, and 12. But they are the major ones for our purpose. Under what condition does an event become news? So one condition is that it is about action. There is an actor. And in general, it should satisfy the Indo-European linguistic SPO, subject, predicate, object. There should be a subject, there should be a verb indicating an action, and there should be something that is the object of that action. In other words, it should be a well-formulated Indo-European sentence. By putting it that way, I was indicating already that in linguistics it's very well known that there are other ways of communicating than through SPO. Number 2, it should be negative. And there was a cartoon in Herald Tribune the other day. Actually a quite brilliant cartoon. And it had to do with the 33 miners in Copiapó in Chile. And you know, it was a brilliant success. To what extent it was staged and so on, I don't know. But anyhow, it was a brilliant success. And you have that newscaster saying, after this dedication to positive news, we are now turning back to our usual negative news. So we're back to normal again. Now, I'll have a lot to say about that. News should preferably be about elite people, and preferably in elite countries. So my favorite negative news item was Kennedy and Khrushchev kill each other at the summit meeting in Vienna. They have a duel and just pull out the pistols and on they go. And the prediction is that this news will become known after 5 seconds all over the world, because all characteristics are it. Let me focus for a second on negative. Why should it be negative? I have very many explanations, so let me just share the latest one with you. And I'm not at all stopping my search. The culprit, the person responsible for that, is Aristotle. And you can then ask the question, what does that good old gentleman have to do with this? Well, I think he did a very sloppy job in his theory of human drama. Because in this action of these people, these countries, there is a drama already. And he divided human drama in 2 parts, and of course all of you know it, so all of you know what I'm going to say now, being educated people. So you know that I'm going to say tragedy and comedy. Either it ends badly or it is entertaining. Modern media have picked Aristotle up to the letter and call it infotainment. It's pure Aristotle. Now, the master slave of Aristotle is called William Shakespeare. He's a slave. He's laboring under that pressure and produces brilliant tragedies and brilliant comedies. Is there something missing here? There is something missing. It could end well. Now then people immediately say, you mean Hollywood. No, no. It could end well after the enormous amount of struggle and difficulty. I have in my writings about this cases of literature from the West. And whenever I read a translated Chinese novel, I find that that is the form. The tragic, dramatic aspect of life is by no way neglected. But there is an element of the Beethoven, durch Leiden zu Licht, through suffering to light. So the question is, what should one call it, if one should have a name for this kind of activity? It would be neither, if you will, tragedy nor comedy, because it doesn't end badly. So, for lack of any other word, I called it a transcendee. And a transcendee is, of course, the basic idea that you transcend the difficulty in the beginning. It just by chance has to do with my t-shirt, but that's, of course, essentially totally at random, just by chance. We welcome our beloved friends. So, I could then say, don't blame the journalists. They read literature by people with high prestige. And they get trained in the idea that this is the legitimate and celebrated form of presentation. Man meets woman on page 3. They build up something called love. They have Norwegian sex on page 44, last 3 pages. there is a high point. From then on, I can guarantee you the author will take you down.